Hey y'all, it's Johnny. Today we're going to look at the Ploarnovo. This was the model X700 tactical flashlight. I'm going to get it out and see what you get with this package. This is the 18650 battery spacer. So if you're using the 18650, it goes inside this sleeve and it keeps it from having much room to wiggle around in there. And they do that because your secondary power source, or your alternative power source, is the AAA battery pack. 3 AAAs will fit in there. That's your second way you can power it. I prefer the 18650s. Here's your rubber gasket that keeps it water resistant or waterproof. But I prefer the 18650. One, because it's a good size cell, holds power, and it's rechargeable, so you're not spending money on AAAs all the time. Five modes on this: high, medium, low, strobe, SOS, and off if you want to count it as another one. See the LED in there? Has the zoom. There's numbers you're never going to pay attention to because you're just going to zoom it out to about where you want anyway. It tightens up the beam, so if we're in this mode right here, we're down to a square beam, a tight square beam for spotting small. And then as you come back, it's going to fan it out, make it into a real wide area, like if you're walking and you're wanting to cover a large area, or if there's a couple of you walking, so that way you're covering the ground real good. You could you guys can see where you're going, each one of you, instead of shining over in their walking path and shining in yours. If you just fan it down, it covers the area real good. If you've never owned, this is aluminum also, real sharp looking. Tactical. We got the ridges in the front in case you ever had to whack somebody. It's all aluminum housing though. It's pretty sturdy. It's a nice sturdy light. There's hardly any give to it. You're going to get a little bit of give here on the head because right where your zoom is, you're going to have just a little bit of play. Not much. I can't even hardly show it on camera. But about it. Everything else is solid. Ridges on the cap. What I was going to say, if you've never owned one of these LED lights like this, or the 18650 rechargeables lights, these things are bright. If you're used to the regular C battery lights or AA battery lights, even like the older D battery mags, unless you've upgraded the bulbs and stuff, you haven't really seen a bright confined light like this until you really start spending the money on the bigger name lights, the better brand names, and the more expensive. But that's the nice thing, is you're not spending all that money on this, yet you're getting a nice bright light with different modes. It does not have memory. I will not stay on strobe all the time every time you turn it on and off. You start spending a lot more money on flashlights, you'll get them with memory and all that. But this one, you just go through the cycles. I'll check on this one, but I'm pretty sure if you're, let's just say you're on strobe and the next one's going to be SOS, if as soon as you go turn off the strobe, if you hold in the button for a couple of seconds and let it go, no matter what, as soon as you turn that on again, it's going to be on high. So if you're on high and when you go to turn it off, if you hold it in for a couple of seconds and let it go, next time you turn it on, it's going to be high again. So you can reset to default. It has that option, and I think it automatically resets to default after a while anyway. But if you're, let's just say you're working security or you're walking a beat and you want to go back to high each time, that's the way you're going to shut it off each time. Just hold it for a couple seconds, let it go, because then the next time you turn it on, you're going to be on high automatically. So we'll get a couple of batteries in this and check it out. All right, I'm going to test it with the 18650 battery just because I have other flashlights that take these batteries, because I don't like buying a bunch of AAAs. But these are handy in a pinch. If you can't charge, you just bring extra AAAs with you, so you'll always have that. That's what I was talking about, the holder with that spacer in there. It keeps that 18650 spaced good to where it's not playing around too much. Apparently, okay. That last break was because the phone went dead. So I think we went over the shape, the style, the ridges, tactical look, glass globe, LED, your zoom. We just got the battery in it. We're going to go through the functions. It's high, medium, low, strobe, and SOS. It does all that on its own. Then whenever you go back, you're back on high again. What I was telling you about the beam on zoomed in, I'm holding it. That's the square beam. You can see the shape of the LED itself, but that's the square. That's the beam you're going to be seeing. You're going to see like a tight square like that when it's zoomed out like that, until it gets real far out there, and then it'll just look round. But up anywhere close, when it's like this, you're going to see that square beam, and then you can fog it out so it just covers a larger area. But try to get out for some night footage, see exactly what it does. If not, I might step into the dark room here in a minute and show you the pattern. Alright, it's Johnny again. Seems like only a second, but it's been hours. We waited till dark. Get this hooked back up. Just gave you kind of a quick example of what the zoom and everything looks like outside in the dark. Okay, this is down to the tightest beam. See the square beam? Let's go against the garage. See that square? That's what that bulb does, that LED. Real tight beam. Up the tree in the back. Even as light as it is outside, you see how well that shows on there? These are real bright lights, even inside. So, going across the backyard, neighbors' houses, shed. Real nice bright. Then you could fan it out. As you start to fan out, like I said, you can cover an area where multiple people can see where they're walking. You can really get wide. See what that does? Really fans out into a wide area. You tighten it up real easy. So there you go. Very bright if you haven't owned one of these before. Very bright lights.